On the reality of working together as a family.
It's not easy to have a family of children who are able to identify what you're doing and be part of it.
If they have to take over, then there must be a relationship between the parent and even the children.
In terms of ministry, I see myself very focused and kusaidia huduma sana iende mbali.
Let's desire as parents to start a journey of building up our children in the ways of God.
We are talking about infertility, a name that carries a lot of pain, misunderstanding, and often judgment from a society that equates motherhood to womanhood.
And then you also start wondering, am I broken? Is there something wrong with me? Am I not a woman enough? Am I, like you start owning the blame and the shame.
Anatomical factors like the varicocele. Varicocele can happen with the time. The men are fertile in their 20s or early 30s, but after the varicocele, it can affect the sperm productions.
It would be so devastating. Like there are times I have cried in the bathroom, there are times I have cried in the shower, there are times I've cried on the bathroom floor, just wondering, God, like what is this? Like why would this be happening to me?
At least go to the screening about fertility screening, whether they are having a problem or not. Otherwise, they will keep on hoping and trying or delaying for social reason or for any career reason. And then when they plan for the baby, then it's not then working.
Hata shetani akipanga kunipepeta kama ngano, sitaogopa, sitahofu, nina imani nitashinda.
Amen. Hata shetani akipanga kupepeta kama ngano,
sitaogopa, sitahofu.
Haita happen. Amejaribu through ugonjwa, but hajaweza. Bado unaimbia Mungu.
Hiyo utungaji wa nyimbo alianza akiwa hata class 5, lakini ilifika mahali akaanza kuwa na uvimbe, na sasa akakuwa na challenge nyingi maishani. Mahali ambapo mtatoa, Mungu azidi kuwazidishia.
Right, and a very good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us. This is Easy Friday. On this day, the 27th of June, the year is 2025, bringing you an update of the news that's been shaping up today. And after the aftermath of the Gen Z protests that happened just the other day, we have comprehensive coverage on the aftermath and what different voices are saying. But first things first, I love to call it an aerial view of Easy Friday tonight. These are the highlights.
What we witnessed was not peaceful protests. It was calculated chaos. It was violence. It was destruction. And it was economic sabotage.
Dressed in freedom colors, President Ruto describes Wednesday protests as a well-calculated economic sabotage.
The thing, and I believe all the Mandamano, which was in 27 counties and more, if they were funded, then it would be billions of shillings. And I doubt whether anybody in opposition is likely to use that strategy.
Gachagua as a scapegoat. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's allies tell the government attributing Gen Z protests to unfulfilled promises. Agriculture condemns vandalism of Meru NCPB depot, saying fertilizer worth 30 million shillings was looted during Wednesday protests. President Ruto appoints Kemboi Keter as the Kenya Army commander, with Bernard Walyuala replacing Fatuma Gaiti at the helm of the Kenya Air Force. All right, many thanks indeed for choosing us to inform you tonight. Our sign language interpreter is Susan Thugu. Tonight I'm riding solo. Thank you for joining us. And on to the Easy Friday, I'll bring you up an update on what's going on. President William Ruto has described the events of Wednesday, June 25th, as calculated chaos, violence, destruction, economic sabotage disguised as peaceful protest, and anarchy dressed in freedom colors. The president noted that while the Constitution protects the right to peaceful protest, the events witnessed went far beyond the limits of lawful expression. Give us one minor as that detailed report.
Days after the Wednesday protest meant to commemorate the loss of lives of Gen Z protesters on June 25th last year, which turned violent and again led to loss of lives, the president on Friday broke his silence on the matter.
To the political actors who think they can exploit the genuine aspirations of our young people to foment chaos, violence, and destruction, the wheels of justice will find you.
While regretting the loss of lives, the head of state said what was witnessed on Wednesday was calculated anarchy, disguised as peaceful protests.
The right to peaceful protest is protected by our Constitution. We respect and uphold that right. But what we witnessed was not peaceful protest. It was calculated chaos. It was violence. It was destruction. And it was economic sabotage.
The president saying the biggest victims of the protest were traders who woke up to find their businesses looted and destroyed by criminal elements posing as protesters.
We had many people with jobs on 24th. On 25th, their jobs went up in flames. We had many people with businesses on 24th. Today, they are living in squalor. They don't know what to do next, you know? And there are people who are telling us, oh, you know, 25th was very successful. Really?
He warned that if allowed to continue, the violent demos will spread uncontrollably and bring the country to its knees.
And they have talked something about one term. And they have said Ruto must go. Those are the things I have listened to, you know? And therefore, I want to ask them this, because if you truly love Kenya, as you say, don't ban your country.
Responding to critics, President Ruto said the Constitution was clear on presidential term limits.
For those who want power, the Constitution is clear. Elections will come. Formulate a better plan. Convince the people of Kenya.
The president made the remarks during the International MSMEs Day celebrations.
And let's press the buzzer.
Give us mana, Easy Friday.
Right now, members of parliament allied to former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua have dismissed allegations that the destruction witnessed during the Wednesday's demo were financed by the opposition. Led by National Assembly Leader of the minority party, Robert Mbui, the lawmakers attributed the chaos to anger by youths at the current regime's failure to honor its promises.
As the nation reels from the effects of chaos that rocked the youth protests on Wednesday, a blame game has intensified between political rivals for the destruction amid accusations against former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua of funding goons.
Na nikasema juzi nimepata reports that they met after having a meeting at the Isaac Walton ya chama ya DCP. Baadaye wakaenda wakaketi chini na wakapanga vile watafanya mambo jana.
Hii ya uvamizi ya police stations and government installations, Deputy President, that is anarchy and you must stop it by all means.
It is anarchy. It is organized crime. Ni wale mmoja ambaye alikuwa Deputy President wetu wa Kenya.
NRTF MPs allied to the former Deputy President are quick to dismiss.
If it is Rigathi Gachagua who had directed this, then he must be very strong. If he has this capacity, he must be very influential, and he even deserves to become the president of this country.
Maandamano is a voluntary thing, and I believe all the maandamano, which was in 27 counties and more, if they were funded, then it would be billions of shillings, and I doubt whether anybody in opposition is likely to use that strategy.
The lawmakers attribute the anger among youths witnessed during the demos to failed promises made by Kenya Kwanza government.
Address the issues affecting the youth. The youth of this country are asking for jobs. The youth of this country are protesting against the killing of their colleagues.
And the government know why. They agitate for end of abduction, for police brutality, for misplaced priority.
The regime promised to reduce government wastage and expenditure. Since then, the number of advisors in the offices of CSL, in the office of the president, have gone up.
The MPs also criticized Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen for issuing shoot-to-kill orders to police when attacked by protesters. Geshoki Washira, Easy Friday.
All right, then now a crisis meeting has been held in Donyonjero, that's in Nyandarua County, following the death of 3 suspects in police cells at that particular police station. The station was set on fire by irate residents who accused the police of abetting cattle rustling.
Tension gripped Ndonyonjeru in Nyandarua County on Thursday night after angry residents torched a local police station, leaving 3 suspected cattle thieves dead. The incident occurred while the suspects were being held in the station cells. According to Nyandarua Central Deputy County Commissioner Michael Oltua, the residents had arrested 3 individuals suspected of cattle theft and handed them over to the police.
There were suspects who were suspected to have stolen cows, and they were brought to the police station.
However, the mood turned hostile when the locals, who had suffered several cases of cattle theft, suspected the police of colluding with the criminals.
The angry youth became rowdy and decided to stop the police station to pick those baying for their blood.
While addressing an emergency security meeting at Ndonyonjeru Police Station, Nyandarua County Police Commander Stella Chirono called on members of the public to exercise restraint while seeking redress on complaints against police.
Tusiharibu mali yetu. Tusichome police station ama nyumba zingine.
During the night protest, irate members of the public banned the main police station block, the crime office and the chief's office. Johnson Karugu reporting for Easy Friday.
All right, then now the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development has condemned the looting and vandalism of the National Cereals and Produce Board Depot in Maua, Meru County. Over 7,000 bags of fertilizer were stolen in the Wednesday's incident, which officials say poses a serious threat to food security. Preliminary reports show that the fertilizer, valued at over 29.5 million shillings, was to be distributed to farmers during the current planting season. All right, then, now the Kenya National Union of Nurses and Midwives has suspended their strike, which was set for the 7th of July, and issued a 30-day extension for dialogue following the appointment of a conciliator. Addressing the media here in the capital, the union's officials vowed to commence the strike on 3rd of August this year if their issues are not fully addressed. Among the issues raised is the government's failure to transition UHC workers to permanent and pensionable terms, failure to address the acute shortage of nurses, among other issues.
The Kenya National Union of Nurses and Midwives issued a 26-day strike notice of unresolved grievances, among them failure to convert UHC nurses to permanent and pensionable terms, failure to implement return to work formula of 2nd November 2017, failure to address shortage of nurses, among others.
The SRC salary of 2024, failure to implement the return to work formula of 2nd November 2017. Failure by the county government to negotiate and conclude collective bargaining agreements. Number 5, illegal deductions of agency fee by Kenyatta National Hospital.
The notice lapsed on Thursday, with the strike expected to take place on the 7th of July. However, on Friday, the union announced that its members had agreed to a 30-day extension following the appointment of a conciliator.
The Kenya National Union of Nurses National Advisory Council, the biggest and the most powerful organ of this union, has extended this strike for 30 days, and if these issues will not be resolved, we can say confidently, surely, that the strike will begin on 3rd August 2025, exactly 12:001 a.m.
The union's Secretary General, Seth Panyako, emphasized that the negotiations should be done at a centralized place instead of individual counties.
Sisi wote ni wauguzi. Ile kazi naofanya hapa Nairobi, yule muuguzi pia yuko Mombasa, ama yule yuko Kilifi, yuko Lamu, yuko Wajia, pia yeye anafanya. Tunauliza serikali itulete kwa pamoja, ambapo itakuwa ina centralized place, tuweze kuzungumza na kutegua haya maswala kwa njia moja, kwa sauti moja.
The union say they remain optimistic that the dispute will be resolved and ensure medical services remain uninterrupted. Kasi Chandamasha, Easy Friday.
All right, then, now President William Ruto has promoted Major General David Kemboi Keter to Lieutenant General and appointed him Commander of the Kenya Army. Kip Kemboi replaces Lieutenant General David Kimayo Tarus, who has been redeployed to the National Defence University. Kenya as the Vice Chancellor until his appointment. He was the Assistant Chief of Defence Forces in charge of personnel and logistics. The head of state has also appointed Major General Bernard Waliaula as the Commander, Kenya Air Force, replacing Major General Fatuma Gaiti Ahmed, whose term has come to an end after 42 years of service. Now, until his appointment, Bernard was the Director of Defence National Security Industries. All right, then, now the head of public service, Felix Koskei, has ordered the CEOs of parish charters and commissions to strictly comply with the directive of the head of state that effective 1st of July, no procuring public entity shall be permitted to transact outside the electronic government procurement system. He noted that the adoption of the electronic government procurement system is poised to embed transparency, rebuild public trust, and affirm the government's commitment to a modern, efficient, and digitally empowered nation.
Speaking in Mombasa during the inaugural caucus of CEOs under the Executive Kenya umbrella, Head of Public Service Felix Koskei said the President's directive on delivery must be met.
The time for passive compliance, ladies and gentlemen, has expired. This government and the people we serve demand a new ethos, one anchored in accountability, courage, and performance. You must own the mandate to align institutional outputs to the nation's strategic imperatives. We no longer audit effort, we measure effect. Henceforth, performance reviews shall be exacting assessments of how your work is bettering the lives of our citizens.
Koskei directed that all government transactions must go through the electronic government procurement system next month.
This is not optional. 100% compliance is expected, no exception, no delays. Let us not entertain excuses or attempts to resist or circumvent this directive. The system must function and it must be adopted in full across every public institution.
The digitization of procurement systems is expected to seal revenue loopholes and curb corruption.
This culture of theft and indifference must end. And it must end with us. It would be a remiss of me not to remind you of this fundamental principle. Act within the law. Always be champions of compliance, not just in word but in practice. We are building a culture where professionalism, not patronage, guides public service.
Koskei urged accounting officers to build public confidence to avert upheaval from Kenya's young generation. This, he said, can be achieved if strategies are aligned with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda and insulated against corruption. For Easy Friday from Mombasa County, I am Ann Buru.
All right, then now concerns have been raised about the rise in misuse of state-led surveillance and spyware technologies in Kenya and across the East and Southern Africa. Fred Nalumansi, the research and advocacy head of Unwanted Witness, a civil society organization, said surveillance practices have increasingly been used as instruments of repression, silencing dissent, and undermining fundamental freedoms. She was speaking in Nairobi at the dissemination of the organization's report titled Surveillance Spyware, an Impediment on Civil Society, Human Rights Defenders, and Journalists in East and Southern.
It has been a chilling effect on freedom of expression. It has hindered organizing. It has eroded privacy during political unrest. The spyware technologies that are being used expose activists to threats.
All right, then now senators have supported the 415 billion shillings equitable share allocation for counties for the 2025-2026 financial year as they considered the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill. The senators who convened a special sitting to dispense with the matter termed the allocation progressive, as it was an addition of 28 billion shillings from the 387 billion shillings from this financial year. The senators, however, stressed the need for devolved units to improve on on-source revenue generation.
Senators were on Friday forced to interrupt their short recess
Tuombe, ewe Mwenyezi Mungu,
to consider the mediated version of the Division of Revenue Bill 2025 that will see the 47 counties share among themselves 415 billion shillings.
The Senate is in a very awkward position to push for more money for counties. But the reality of government performance in terms of the fiscal space of collecting money is to be able to be shared vertically between the two levels of government. The situation is only getting from bad to worse.
While senators were pushing for 465 billion shillings, a mediation committee brought the standoff to a consensus, adding 28 billion shillings from the 2024-2025 financial year allocation.
The maximum that we're able to get is an additional 17 billion within 5 years to 387. Now, we have moved from 387 to 415 billion.
Senators have, however, castigated counties for wastage of resources and urged them to focus on revenue generation.
I think the next budget should include a certain percent for every county to at least raise their own resources. Because the OSR that they collect is again being used without any accountability.
All that is needed is money to be put in its correct use. And as a Committee of Finance, we've tried our best. Governors, do not let us down.
Counties were also put on the spot over pending bills.
We talk about billions, and we've increased 28 billion to the county government. But the thorny issue, the biggest animal in this country, the pending bills, Mr. Speaker.
The sitting, which came hot on the heels of Wednesday Gen Z protest, saw senators condemn the chaos, but also urged the government to listen to the youth.
That the only time we will get it right as a nation is if we take that 415 billion that we said we're going to send to the county governments, engage the Gen Zs in constructing our roads, engage the Gen Zs in building our hospitals, in building our schools.
The Senate is on a short recess until 8th of July. Kamche Menza for Easy Friday.
It's from the Senate that we take our first break. We thank you most sincerely for choosing us to inform you tonight. We have more news lined up for you, business a bit later, and sports. We'll be back in a moment.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital.
Hata shetani akipanga kunipepeta kama ngano, sitaogopa, sitahofu, nina imani nitashinda.
Amen. Hata shetani akipanga kupepeta kama ngano,
sitaogopa, sitahofu.
Haita happen. Amejaribu through ugonjwa, but hajaweza. Bado naimbia Mungu.
Hiyo utungaji wa nyimbo alianza akiwa hata class 5, lakini ilifika mahali akaanza kuwa na uvimbe, na sasa akakuwa na challenge nyingi maishani. Mahali ambapo mtatoa, Mungu azidi kuwazidishia.
In a world where news is ever changing, staying informed is more important than ever.
Join us every week on News Check, your go-to show for the latest in current affairs, breaking news, and in-depth analysis.
A warm welcome to KBC News Check.
From politics to global events, we bring you content that matter to you.
We're not just speaking about the governance and how we want to see it, but want to actually participate.
Get your facts, hear from the experts, and really understand what is happening around you.
We need to change our system first.
You have to do the impossible to make sure the message is home.
Stay ahead, stay informed, stay engaged.
Will these people, everybody agree?
Just listen to me.
Let's give him a chance to clear the air.
Catch News Check every Tuesday and Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. Only on KBC Channel 1.
Right, and welcome back to Easy Friday. Let's continue with comprehensive coverage of the news that's shaping up tonight. Environmental advocates are calling for urgent action to restore degraded landscapes in arid and semi-arid lands in the country. During the arid and semi-arid lands restoration workshop in Nairobi, the advocates urged the government, civil society and private sector to invest more in tree restoration and nature-based solutions for ASAL ecosystems, which continue to face worsening droughts, land degradation and shrinking biodiversity.
In the face of increased land degradation and climate change affecting ecosystems, advocates of land restoration are calling for enhanced tree restoration and nature-based solutions in arid and semi-arid lands.
But it would be good to share knowledge in the best possible way, also have communities involved into what has to be done in the region that we are active, and we also have to make sure that we have all the donors also chipping in into reforestation and restoration of the country.
We need to have a national conscience and a national discourse and start looking at what research intervention are there so that we can harness this research, this innovation, and then we take where the local action is.
Beyond tree planting, the advocates are calling for a focus on native drought-resistant species and sustainable land use practices that contribute to soil regeneration and water retention.
Encouraging development of policies and integrating policies so that we can be able to have support for the restoration activities.
The traditional frameworks, together with the support from other stakeholders, people are realizing and starting to get a lot of these benefits from the areas that we are having under indigenous trees.
Ile nyasi ina uwezo wa kujiwekea maji kama hamjaweka ng'ombe kule zikaharibu na nyayo. Kwa hivyo hata kwa sasa maana tunaendelea kukata, bado utakuta inaendelea kuchipua.
The advocates, however, argue that restoring the ASAL lands requires a fundamental shift in policy and investment that center in the local community's aspirations and strengthen capacity at grassroots level and sustaining restoration initiatives. Martini Maslin for Prime Edition.
All right, then it's time to head to the corridors of justice, and Nairobi Court has released Suleiman Bilali and Robert Otiti on a personal bond of 50,000 shillings, declining a police request to detain them over alleged incitement to protests. The duo, who had been arrested on Tuesday and presented in court Thursday, had been accused of cybercrime misuse by inciting members of the public through their X account to occupy the State House on June 25th. Delivering the ruling, trial magistrate Donfina Lego ruled that the investigating officer had not produced compelling reasons to warrant their detainment for 10 days.
Respondents hearing has granted a personal bond of 50,000 with one surety of similar amount, but I also put hearing that a cash bail could be given of 20,000 with one contact person. We all come back to court on the 8th day of July 2025.
Right, then now in the heart of one of Kenya's most volatile terrains, a silent revolution in maternal health is unfolding. Amid rampant insecurity and limited infrastructure, our civil society is stepping in where public systems have struggled for years. Take a look.
In Baringo County's rugged and bandit-prone interior, mothers-to-be still walk for hours, sometimes days, just to access basic health care. But now, a lifeline is reaching them right at their doorstep. Civil society organization Dandelion Africa is taking maternal health services deep into the most remote villages of Tiaty East and Tiaty West.
Tunasema women and girls of reproductive age waweze kupata matibabu na services karibu. So jukumu letu kama Dandelion Africa, the outreach program, the pack nurse, sisi ni kupeleka huduma pale mashinani, mahali mama haezi fika kwa hospitali iko karibu.
Armed with vaccines, supplements, and medical kits, these backpack nurses are bridging a life-threatening health gap for women and children. Baringo is one of 6 counties in Kenya's North Rift where insecurity, ethnic conflict, and cattle rustling have turned access to healthcare into a luxury. The others include Elgeyo Marakwet, Laikipia, Samburu, Turkana, and West Pokot. Despite the odds, health promoters are not just saving lives, they're transforming them. From maternal health education to mental wellness and nutrition, women are now being empowered to take control of their well-being.
Tunashirikiana na majimbo likiwemo jimba la Baringo kuhakikisha kwamba kama idara ya afya iko tayari kwa zile equipment ambazo wanahitaji na madawa, na pia tunashirikiana kuhakikisha wako na ile masomo ambayo yanahitajika kukabiliana na matatizo yanayotokana na masuala ya kujifungua.
At a recent training in Rongai, Nakuru County, Dandelion Africa also trained village elders and health officials to sustain these efforts at the community level.
All right, now Busia County Commissioner Mwachaunga Chaunga says the government will not relent in efforts to curb the sale and consumption of illicit alcohol. Mwachaunga spoke at Busia KMTC during the International Day Against Drug Abuse, where he urged liquor joint owners to adhere to the standard operating procedures set out for them to avoid closure and apprehension. NACADA and the county government have, in the meantime, launched an operation to arrest and close down illegally operated joints that are selling alcohol to underage persons, thereby exposing them to drug and substance abuse.
Kenya joined the rest of the world in commemorating the International Day Against Drugs and Substance Abuse amidst concerns on the mushrooming of illegally operated liquor joints in the border county of Busia. County Commissioner Mwachaunga Chaunga put on notice joint owners, saying they will have a date with the law enforcement soon.
Tumeanza msako na tutaendelea. Kuna zile baa ambazo hazifuati sheria na masaa ya kufungua baa.
This even as the National Authority for the Campaign Against Drug Abuse launched a joint operation with Busia County government to weed out drug joints and apprehend operators that are in contravention of set laws.
1 in every 53 persons in this county abusing cannabis, that is pranking. 1 in every 28 of them, like they chew miraa, but wamekula jaba pale.
In Machakos County, calls were made on the community to unite in the fight against drugs and substance abuse, especially amongst the youth whose future is threatened by the consumption and abuse of the same.
Let us invest in prevention. That is the theme of the day.
In Kakamega, concerns were raised over the region leading in production and consumption of illicit brew.
If we don't deal with the challenge of alcohol and drug abuse and illicit trafficking of drugs in our country, we shall not be able to realize the bigger vision we have for this country.
Finally, Kericho County Commissioner Gilbert Kitio said drugs and alcohol abuse have led to addiction among youth, resulting in waste of money and even sale of property as a result of high dependency on narcotics for functionality.
Na ukishapata addiction, sasa inakutawala vile inataka.
Kuzuia ni bora kuliko tukikuja tunajaribu sasa na wenye wameshalemewa.
Yusufar reporting for Easy Friday.
Now, the State Department for Social Protection has launched a new initiative to rehabilitate street families by equipping them with vocational skills and reintegrating them into community care. Chairperson of the Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund, Mary Wamboy, says the program aims to empower street families with practical training to help them secure jobs or start businesses.
According to the 2018 National Census of Street Families, the country has 46,639 street persons. Males make up 72.4%, with 45.3% being youth and 33.8% being children. The report cites multiple causes of homelessness, which include poverty, family conflict, corporal punishment, orphanhood, and mental illness. In response, the State Department for Social Protection, through the Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund, is shifting focus to equipping the homeless with vocational skills as a pathway out of street life. Chairperson, Street Families Rehabilitation Trust Fund, Mary Wamboi, announced the establishment of a 20-acre vocational training center in Mavoko, Machakos County.
Tukaona ni mzuri tuwashughulikie wote wale wa above 18, wasee wanakunywa pombe, hakuna kitu wanajua ingine. Tunawapeleka kwa institution, tukiwapeleka huko wanakuwa rehabilitated so they can be a bit normal.
The center will target street persons aged 14 and above and partner with technical, vocational education and training institutions to offer skills, training and support.
All right, now, Eastern Regional Commissioner Paul Rotich says drug traffickers are luring female students with false promises of wealth only to trap them in networks trafficking marijuana and cocaine from Ethiopia. Rotich says that to avert the crisis, there is need for urgent interventions in learning institutions.
Nyingi sana inaingizwa nchi yetu. Ikiwa bangi, nyingi inaweza kuwa inatoka Ethiopia. Sio bangi peke yake inaingizwa Kenya. Cocaine pia inaingia Kenya. Wengi ambao tumeweza kuwashika ama wale ambao polisi wameweza kufanya arrest, wengi wao ni wanafunzi wa university.
Now, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, that's KUPPET, is pushing to have 3 levels of schools in the country to resolve the challenges facing the competence-based education, that's the CBE system. Speaking after attending a seminar for KUPPET officials in Kilifi County on Thursday, the national chairman of the union, Omboko Milemba, said that the current confusion between KUPPET and the Kenya National Union of Teachers, that's KNUT, of scrambling for the junior secondary schools teachers, that's the JSS teachers, could be solved by creating another layer in the school system.
Independent school, so that we have 3 levels of schools. We have the primary school, we have JSS led by the people who are in JSS, and we shall win what you are talking about. Because it's the teachers who are teaching JSS that will become the principals and leaders of that particular sector. And then we have the higher school.
All right, over 2,300 households in Masalani town in Ijara sub-county, Garissa County, are set to benefit from uninterrupted water supply following the launch of the Masalani Water Project. The project, which was implemented by the National Drought Management Authority at a cost of 20.3 million shillings, includes the construction of a 4.4-kilometer pipeline, installation of a 120,000-litre elevated still water tank, and the construction of a water kiosk. And I was speaking during the commissioning of that particular project. The Principal Secretary for the Arid Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development, Kelo Hasama, termed the project as a key intervention that will significantly improve access to clean water and strengthen drought resilience for the local residents. Now, local residents were urged to take full responsibility and protect the investment from damages and burglary.
Itasaidia mashule 3 pamoja na madarasa. Kwa hivyo hiyo ni mafanikio kubwa sana. Pia ukiwa na shamba katika compound yako, unaweza tumia hiyo maji kupanda mboga. Lakini bado Manyata villages kama 6 ambao haina maji bado, ambaye maji bado fika. Sasa siku ya leo mimi na chairman na CEO ya NDMA, National Drought Management Authority, tumekubaliana tupeleke maji tena kwa hizo villages 3 wengine.
All right, now Immigration Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang has revealed that approximately 1,300 identity cards awaiting collection in Nyandarua County are believed to have been destroyed when the Nyandarua Central Sub-County Registration Bureau was set ablaze by the demonstrators on Wednesday this week. Details of this and other stories making headlines in our county news roundup up next.
During an official visit to assess the destruction of government installations in Nyandarua County, Immigration Principal Secretary Belio Kipsang called for a thorough investigation to determine the fate of the IDs.
We shall take all that it takes to protect the lives of Kenyans, to protect the properties of Kenyans, and to protect all installations that are of service to the Kenyan people.
Meanwhile, the Finance and National Planning Committee of the National Assembly has launched a probe into an attempted land grab involving property belonging to the College of Insurance in South Sea, Nairobi County.
The Ministry of Land did confirm that the rightful title deed was actually owned by the College of Insurance. So we ask everyone involved to act in speed and make sure that we protect this matter of public interest, and this public property still continues to be public property.
Elsewhere, sexually transmitted infections are on the rise among both men and women in Busia County, with a shortage of neurologists in border county hospitals posing a further threat to effective disease control.
So we want to emphasize all the patients to come and see the urologist for further treatment.
In Tana River County, pastoralist residents of the Galma area in Garsen constituency have voiced concerns over the government's plan to establish new villages referred to as clusters exclusively for one community. They argue that this move could potentially fuel intercommunity tensions.
Tumebanwa sisi, tumetolewa katika upande wa cluster, hatuko, ni jamii moja peke yake ndio wanafanyiwa uklasisi, hatuko. Kama tungehusishwa, jibu lingepatikana kutoka kwetu na hakunge kwa hakuna shida. So tunaomba tuhusishwe, na kama hatutahusishwa haitaendelea hiyo, hatutakubali.
Finally, the Kenya Urban Roads Authority has launched road safety campaigns in Western Kenya to promote safe use of roads.
Road accidents are very costly, and they affect every facet of our lives. So as Kura, that is one of our mandates, to have safe roads.
For Easy Friday, I'm Christine Matunda.
The men and women in boats, their core mandate to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. Their bravery knows no limits.
Make a man go through the wall without breaking the wall.
Laziness, it is not in our vocabulary.
But what are their stories, their tales? Military Tales, every Saturday at 9 p.m. with Ben Troy and Joey.
You're mine, always you're mine, forever you're my reality. You're my sunshine, you're my best times, you're mine.
Nishamrushia mama emoji. Once I sent her a small emoji, she sent a big one.
No, when we were together in the house chilling, cooking and stuff like that, he was like, please, I hope you're going to be like for me alone, like making sure that please promise
assurance,
and all that. When I met his parents, I think that's the first time I've ever experienced meeting someone's parents. And let me tell you, Maina, parents were so sweet.
So like for her, she told me clearly, you first need to marry me.
Yeah, okay. You need to set the standard.
Yeah.
That was very good of you.
You're mine.
Wait, I think someone has broken into my house.
Wewe unajua venye umenistua.
I'm in trouble.
36 almost. Hey! Sio ni 40. Hata si mama huyu ni mshodhe. Utanino.
Utaniumizia mtoi.
Ati nini? Inafaa nimuvishe vitu, nitafute chuo ya watoi, nitafute place ya kuhama. Umelipia deposit ya was it 2.5 million ama nini?
You can take a girl from the ghetto, but you cannot take the ghetto from the girl. You are still a ghetto girl. Tena mtoi wa oga mnaija. Imagine. So mnateka.
Wewe ndio Pete mwenye aliachwa na wife juu ya house help ama ni juu ya kuuza nyumba?
Day ya kwanza ananiita koni.
Welcome to Easy Friday Business. The Hustler Fund to date has disbursed 71 billion shillings and mobilized nearly 5 billion shillings in savings. The government says the figures are expected to soar due to the rollout of the Hustler Behavioral Credit Rating System, which seeks to increase the credit ceiling for people with good repayment history. President William Ruto has at the same time urged commercial lenders to lower their interest rates in line with benchmark rates by the Central Bank of Kenya.
In December last year, the government launched the Hustler Fund Behavioral Credit Rating System to expand the credit ceiling to borrowers who pay within the stipulated 14 days. President William Ruto says this is expected to drive demand for more loans as more people graduate into higher loan limits. This, even as calls to increase access to credit towards MSME sector reverberated during this year's celebrations to mark the World MSMEs Day.
So the UN is collaborating with Kenya and our partners, governments such as the Swedish, Canadian, the Rockefeller Foundations, the MasterCard Foundation, in seeing how to create more opportunities and ensuring that no one is left behind.
There are those who now have been graduated into the bridge loan. There are people today on the Hustler Fund who borrow 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, up to 150,000 without any collateral. Their collateral is just their good manners.
President Ruto says much more remains to be done to unlock the full potential of the MSME sector, citing the sector's potential to absorb a significant number of job seekers, reduce poverty, and enhance national productivity.
We have been able to actually get us to push the agenda of ensuring that domestic trade works for its citizens. Hence the really big push for the macro and small-scale industries.
During the celebrations, speakers called on the commercial lenders to lower the cost of credit in line with the decision by the Central Bank of Kenya monetary policy in June to lower the benchmark rate by 25 basis points to 9.75%.
Today, our Juakali sector are producing good quality products because we have insisted and we told them very clearly that although we want to support you, we are not going to compromise on quality. You must make the right quality product. And you know what? We have the best human capital anywhere in the world. The Juakali today is measuring up to what we could have imported from anywhere else in the world.
Regina Manyara reporting for Easy Friday.
Right now, Kenya has taken a major leap forward in aviation safety with the commissioning of a new generation aircraft recovery system at Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. The move is expected to enhance JKIA's stature as a key aviation hub in East Africa. Kenya Airports Authority Chairman Caleb Kositani says the system upgrade will help minimize downtime when it occurs.
The Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, which handles close to 10 million passengers annually, has witnessed a steady rise in air traffic as Kenya maintains its status as an African aviation hub. JKI is the main connecting hub for East, West, South and North African regions. However, until now, the lack of modern aircraft recovery equipment posed a critical vulnerability during emergencies, often requiring hours of response time.
JKI, we are operating on one runway for all flights,
And any incident will always cause various delays, like one we had last Sunday, which caused about 2 hours of disruption. So with the airport recovery equipment, we will be able to respond faster, and we will be able also to sort out any incident that may appear within our airports, within our country, and even in the neighborhood. If they don't have this equipment, we can be able to fly the equipment there, land at the nearest airport from where the incident is, transport the equipment by road, and sort out the issues.
The 177 million shilling system acquired from British firm AMS Aircraft Recovery comes equipped with modular lifting and towing mechanisms capable of handling wide-body aircraft and will now form a core part of the airport's emergency response infrastructure.
It's slightly in excess of £1 million British pounds, the total contract. That includes training in the UK, training in Kenya. It included all of the equipment and our guarantees and warranties for the future.
With this equipment now, we will be able to clear the runway faster than any other time before. Within an hour of an incident, we should be able to resume flights and carry on with operations normally.
The move comes amid ongoing upgrades at JKIA aimed at expanding capacity and modernizing its operations in line with rising traffic and international standards.
In aviation, every second counts, and even more during an emergency. The Kenya Airports Authority says it's now better prepared more than ever before with the unveiling of the new advanced aircraft recovery system to keep operations running even during a crisis. Trevor Ngendo at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, Nairobi.
All right, now solar power is fast becoming the go-to solution for communities living off the Kenyan national grid. This form of energy is fast gaining currency here in Kenya as the cost and reliability of power becomes a major issue. Players in the industry say that the government should offer more incentives to the industry to fast-track Kenya's electrification agenda. Sylvia Gatti talked to participants attending the ongoing Solar Kenya 2025 exhibitions at the Kenyatta International Convention Center, that's the KICC, and shares the following insights.
With solar power contributing about 12% to Kenya's electricity mix, it remains the fastest growing renewable energy source, with annual growth projected at 28% through 2027. The industry has been boosted by the energy solar photovoltaic systems regulations that came into force in 2012. Since then, the sector has expanded significantly, with the Energy and Petroleum Regulation Authority reporting that close to 2 million people rely on solar energy for their energy needs.
Solar, you'll be saving a lot when it comes to your electricity bill. Yeah, having solar is a green energy. You'll be through your natural light. You'll be coming to you can connect all the appliances that is in home.
The growing solar power technology and cost of solar kits are also helping drive the uptake of this technology. At the Kenyatta International Convention Center, more than 150 exhibitors from 25 countries are showcasing the latest innovations in solar and clean energy at the Power and Energy Kenya exhibition.
Actually, for these 2 days, we already encountered many customers. They have some specific requirements for the solar products, and when we encounter them, we will introduce them to our distributors here. It will promote our sales as well.
The ongoing expo brings together industry leaders, investors, and policymakers for panel discussions and product demonstrations aimed at advancing Africa's clean energy transition.
They're moving on to renewable sources. They know that we cannot continue to depend on coal-powered stations anymore. We cannot continue relying on hydropower energy, because hydropower, when there's droughts, then there's load shedding. When there's a lot of rains, the rivers are flooded. Equipment don't work like in other African countries. Solar will always be there. For as long as the sun is there, you got the solar.
From smart inverters and solar kits to mini grid solutions, the exhibition presents practical tools to improve energy access. As Kenya works toward universal electrification by 2030, solar power technology is expected to continue playing a major role in this endeavor. Sylvia Gatti reporting for Easy Friday.
All right, then now you can improve your business operations by at least 70% if you integrate artificial intelligence. Microsoft Cloud Solution Architect Miriam Boga says small and medium enterprises and large corporations who embrace AI are saving costs through streamlined processes, faster turnaround times, among other benefits.
The Ministry of Information, Communications and the Digital Economy indicates that in February 2025 alone, Kenya generated 549.3 million visits to artificial intelligence tools, accounting for 4.56% of the total global AI traffic. This means that more Kenyans are turning to AI tools in a bid to improve workflows.
So if we have just teams that can assist learning on AI, because we have, for example, our prompt galleries and also our adoption kits that are public, you can have people going, learning, and even sharing in their spaces inside of an organization.
However, challenges related to policies and the cost of these tools have been cited as an impediment to adoption, especially for small businesses.
As with any tool and any technology platform, learning and relearning is one of the major key aspects. So I'd say putting in systems just to ensure people can learn, and even situations where people can come and discuss any AI platforms they are using.
In April 2025, Kenya launched its National AI Strategy 2025-2030, which outlines a government-led vision for ethical, inclusive and innovation-driven AI adoption across the country's socio-economic sphere.
Is artificial intelligence important to lives today?
According to York Online Master's Degrees, University of York, AI touches every aspect of our personal and professional online lives today. Global communication and interconnectivity in business is, and continues to be, a hugely important area. Capitalizing on artificial intelligence and data science is essential, and its potential growth trajectory is limitless.
Hello, Naoko. Easy Friday.
Well, there you go. AI are integrating that into business. All right, now moving on. Ever wondered how pharmaceuticals such as vaccines, insulin, antibiotics, or blood products are handled when in transit? Our reporter, Alana Oko, visited a specialized facility for housing a cargo of such unique products and filed the following report that also looks at how Kenya is positioning itself in this special cargo logistics business.
The story of the cooling pharmaceutical systems in Africa is an inspiring one. And this specific one goes to show you what capacity Kenya has in terms of empowering an entire region in pharmaceutical storing logistics.
This is perhaps what it takes to run a fully fledged specialized cargo handling facility. Products from all over the world converge here for special storage. But how did we get here?
One way of standing above competition is to achieve the certification or the trust of the different players in this industry involved in the movement of pharmaceuticals. Part of it was accelerated by COVID and the need to have, a handling facility geared towards pharmaceuticals.
We meet Al-Bashir Ismail, the manager cargo special products at Kenya Airways Kenya Air Freight Handling Limited. He tells us that clients are increasingly demanding such services and the country is poised to take advantage.
This chamber is almost full to capacity. So it wasn't just COVID. COVID was merely an acceleration. But even post-COVID, the demand is there. It is growing. The movement of pharmaceuticals is growing across the globe. And we are well positioned to tap into those opportunities that is presented.
This particular facility is about 600 square meters with 3 chambers for different temperature ranges for different products.
Getting the proper equilibrium in this ecosystem means fulfilling the consumer's needs and also placing the sensitive pharmaceutical products in a place where it is not hindered by contamination.
The bigger chamber caters for products that require ambient temperatures of about 15 to 25 degrees of cooling. The next chamber requires products that require cold storage of between 2 to 8 degrees. The smaller chamber keeps frozen products and stores up to minus 20 degrees.
Generally, you can imagine we have so many types of pharma products, sensitive pharmaceutical products. It can be, your normal medicine that requires, cold chain. It can be vaccines. It can be, human tissues and things like that. So it's not just pharmaceuticals, but it also medical products in general.
Future plans now include expanding the facility to house even more products to position Kenya as Africa's premier destination for specialized cargo.
We would like to expand the facility, also to equip it with the ability to handle containers and pallets. As it is right now, we're only moving the products without putting them on the unit load devices that can eventually be loaded into an aircraft.
The facility has also been certified by the International Air Transport Association, IATA, as a Center for Excellence for Independent Validators, or CEIV, since May 2023. Alanako, Easy Friday.
All right, then now we're going to round up our business stories, and let's cross borders to the West African nation, that's Nigeria, where Nigeria's central bank is stepping up efforts to stabilize the naira after months of currency turbulence. Authorities say that over $10 billion has been injected into the foreign exchange reserves in a bid to close the gap between the official and parallel market rates. I hear the details of this and more in our business roundup.
Nigeria's currency woes have been driven by falling oil revenues, surging import bills, and a dual exchange rate regime that has seen discouraged investor confidence. Over the past year, the naira has lost more than 40% of its value, prompting the central bank to launch a series of aggressive interventions. Alongside the multi-billion-dollar reserve boost, authorities are also cracking down on forex speculation and introducing more transparency in currency auctions. While analysts welcome these short-term measures, they caution that long-term stability will require structural reforms, including boosting local production and reducing over-reliance on imports. Elsewhere, Egypt is accelerating its infrastructure agenda, with the Suez Canal Authority announcing Phase 2 of its expansion project. The move is expected to increase the canal's daily shipping capacity by nearly 30%, reinforcing its role as a critical global trade artery. This expansion is central to Egypt's broader strategy to ease its foreign currency crunch and manage rising debt servicing obligations. And finally, South Africa's green hydrogen ambitions are taking shape with a $1.6 billion partnership deal signed between the government and private investors. The initiative will create a major hydrogen corridor in the Northern Cape, expected to deliver clean energy, generate thousands of jobs, and position the country as a major exporter to Europe and Asia. Officials say the hydrogen drive isn't just about climate targets, it's a strategic move to revive the industry and reposition South Africa in the global energy landscape. Ndutamo Kami for Easy Friday.
Nilikukosea.
Wazungumzia nini? Usi wakati wa kuigiza rafiki yangu. Ni malipo. Sikiza, ijapokuwa dadako, lakini wazungumzia nini?
Moyo wangu waniasi.
Wakuachi?
Sitaki kumuona. Sina ruhusa ya kutawala moyo wake.
Nina mimba yako na nahakikishia huyu tamlea sote.
Kumbuka nilivyokuonya.
Utanifanya nini?
Peni nafasi tafadhali. Kuna jambo la muhimu sana ningependa kujadiliana naye.
Hamuhitaji msaada wowote.
Nakuonya Shaurembo. Nakuonya.
Wewe mwenyewe ndio unaniambia kwa hiyo nitaja. Au
wiki hii kwenye mkulima tutamfuga ng'ombe wa maziwa. Kisha tuongeze maziwa yake thamana.
Ningeaji wakulima wajoin kufanya value addition. Juu hii inaleta pesa nyingi kidogo kuliko ile kuuza maziwa fresh. Sasa si mnaona kwa mfano niko na maziwa mala, niko na yogurt, niko na soko ya ice cream, niko na soko ya ghee.
Tazama Mkulima Jumamosi hii saa 10:30 hapa KBC. Tukupe uhondo kamili.
And a very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Prime Edition Sport. Kenya will begin the quest for the 2024 African Nations Championship title against the Democratic Republic of Congo. This is according to the fixtures released by the Confederation of African Football, CAF. Kenya will open their Group A campaign against the two-time winners on Sunday, the 3rd of August. This year, mark that date. Kenya will then face Angola on the 7th of August in their second match before playing Morocco and Zambia on the 10th and 17th of August respectively. All the matches pitching Harambee Stars will be played at the Moi International Sports Centre Kasarani, with the rest of the Group A matches being played at the Nyayo National Stadium. The other host venues for the 19-team tournament, according to the latest release from CAF. Pool B matches will be played in Dar es Salaam, with the opening match between Tanzania and Burkina Faso set to kick off at the Benjamin Mkapa Stadium on the 2nd of August. Group C and D matches will be hosted in Kampala and Zanzibar respectively, while the 3rd and 4th place playoff will be played in Kampala on the 29th of August before the final at Kasarani in Nairobi on the 30th of August. The 2024 African Nations Championships will be co-hosted by Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda for the first time from the 2nd to the 30th of August, and you can watch it live on KBC Channel 1. And as a bonus, all Harambee Stars matches are scheduled to kick off at 3 p.m. East African time. Now, junior athletes stole the show as the two-day National Athletics Championships concluded today at the Ulinzi Sports Complex here in Nairobi. However, some managed to salvage their pride, among them the fastest man in Africa, Ferdinand Omanyala, and the national javelin champion, Julius Yego, as fellow Olympian Kenya Prisons Service 800-meter champion, Lilian Odira, successfully defended her national title. 2022 World Athletics Under-20 Championships gold medalist Reynold Cheruiyot claimed victory in the 1,500 meters, timing 3 minutes 37.23 seconds. Timothy Cheruiyot and Abel Kipsang closed 3 minutes 37.28 seconds and 3 minutes 40.20 seconds to settle for second and third positions respectively.
10,000 meters. As I prepare for my third marathon, I think it's I see the young ones are coming up, so I congratulate my competitor, the first one.
Timothy Cheruiyot, Reynold Cheruiyot, Timothy Cheruiyot, Reynold Cheruiyot. Who will be the winner? Reynold Cheruiyot or the experienced Timothy Cheruiyot? Reynold goes to the front and takes this title from Timothy Cheruiyot in a photo finish.
There you have it, Mary Mora. Mary Mora is now on the lead, having opened the gap. And we have Judy Kemunto from the South Rift coming in second position. Mary Mora wins the race, and Judy.
Now, the Kenya Rollball boys and girls teams finished second overall in the inaugural Junior Rollball World Cup, which Kenya was hosting for the first time at the Kasarani Indoor Arena. They fell to India in the title deciders after quite an impressive run, as Frederick Moki reports.
Kenya made history by hosting the inaugural Junior Rollball World Cup, which attracted 6 nations. The Kenya teams showed their prowess in front of their home fans as they claimed wins in several matches. Kenya boys team gave it all in their final match against India, but lost by 5 goals to 1. The ladies team also lost their final match against India 2 by 5 clear goals. En route to the final, both Kenyan teams won all their matches through to the semi-finals, where the boys team pounded South Sudan 10 goals to 0, while the girls team lost 6-0 to India in the final decider. Frederick Moki for Easy Friday.
Thanks to you, D, for always believing in me and supporting me.
And today we are going to look on the reality of working together as a family.
It's not easy to have a family of children who are able to identify what you're doing and be part of it.
If they have to take over, then there must be a relationship between the parent and even the children.
In terms of ministry, I see myself very focused and kusaidia huduma sana iende mbali.
Let's desire as parents to start a journey of building up our children in the ways of God.
19 nations will compete in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania 2024, which will be staged from 2nd to 30th August 2025. Amongst the 4 groups in the tournament A to D, Kenya is pooled in Group A, together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo and Zambia.
Algeria from the set piece, the header is on target, but it's...
This unique competition featuring the best locally based players from across the continent definitely has something for everyone. Just bring your A game as you let it flow live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back to Prime Edition Sport. Now, the Kenya Beach Volleyball team has progressed to the round of 16 in the ongoing CAVB Africa Beach Volleyball Championship in Marseille, Morocco. Gaudensia Makoha and Charlene Maiwa overcame the Nigerian pair of Genevieve Kelechi and Happy Wushilang by 2-1 of 31-33, 21-17 and 4-4. Veronica Adhiambo and Masi Minza, on the other hand, beat Burundian Nadia Buntubuimana and Marie Igeraneza by straight sets of 21-14 and 21-14 before they lost their second match against the Nigerian pair of Estamba and Pamela Bawa in Pool B. In the men's championship, the Kenyan duo of Elfas Makuta and Jairus Kipkosgei were eliminated after losing by 2 sets of 21-23 and 5-21 to the Ghanaian pair of Paula Khan and Abdul Ibrahim. Bakutu and Kipkosgei, who had drawn in Pool G, had earlier lost their opening match against Nigeria, and the pairing was Augustine Uche and Peter Jasper, who claimed a 2 straight sets win of 18-21 and 15-21. Among one is that Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen is a new patron of the newly promoted FKF Premier League side Bomet APS, as KCB Football Club appoint veteran coach Robert Matano as their new head coach ahead of the upcoming 2025-2026 FKF Premier League season. Also, AFC Leopards legend Boniface Mbani has unveiled his manifesto ahead of Sunday's club elections, where he will battle it out with former club commercial director Enos Mutoka. Barado Kumu has the details.
Matano, who made it to the national fold as an assistant coach to the Kenya national team, Harambee Stars in 2006, and a former Tusk FC head coach, is expected to bring with him remarkable legacy of success to the team with regard to his winning mentality.
The players are good. What we need is to just change mentality and the attitude, and also we want to bring new life, new experience, different experience. That's why we are looking for other players from outside the country to come and support us and to give a different experience in the team.
As a KCB Football Club, we expect to finish at either number 1, number 2, or number 3 podium finish, and we expect Matano to bring his expertise and uplift the team.
This comes after KCB wrapped up the 2024-2025 season in the 9th position with 42 points. Matano will be joined by John Jogo, who steps into the role of a trainer on the technical bench.
Sports for us is how we bring the brand to life. And even within our brand purpose for people for better, we keep our players at the center of everything that we do. Also, a newly promoted Premier League side, APS Bomet FC, has set a target of lifting the Football Kenya Federation Premier League in 4 years. APS Bomet finished runner-up in the just concluded National Super League and will feature in top tier for the first time in next season. And the club has announced the Cabinet Secretary for the National Administration, Kipchumba Murkomen, as the new patron. Founded in 2014, the club's 29-member playing unit is composed of 14 uniformed police officers and 15 who do not serve in the police or the military. And former FC Leopards, Tusk FC and Yanga FC striker Boniface Mbani has promised to strengthen Ingwe's playing unit and improve players' welfare if he is elected the club's new chairperson this Sunday. Mbani will battle it out with former Leopards commercial director Vincent Mutoka.
AFC Leopards vile nimesema, ni lazima tukae chini tuweze kuipaka sasa vizuri. Tuweze kutafuta sasa wachezaji wenye hali. wachezaji ambao wanaweza kustahimili pressure ya FC Leopards na wachezaji ambao wataweza kufikisha hapo penye tunataka. So kwa hivyo nipe muda tu kidogo, nadhani ndani ya season karibu 2 ama 3 tutakuwa tunacheza.
Finally, Stanley Sunguti has been named the Nairobi East Sub-County League Player for the month of June during the Nairobi East FKF Player Awards. Kasarani Homeboys Sunday Adams walked away with County League Player of the Month, as Wilkista Shimwati and Elizabeth Hisa were also awarded for their outstanding performances during the month.
The purpose of us award our players, one, imekuwa ni to try and motivate them, and peer to bring competition in terms of how individual players move from one stage to the other.
To motivate sana kama players, ina kumotivate work hard, na pia inaleta competition. Utapata maplayer wengine pia wana compete, na pia ina improve football, at least inakuwa level ingine.
And across our borders, Real Madrid beat Salzburg FC 3-0 to advance to the last 16 as Group H leaders in the 2025 FIFA Club World Cup, as Manchester City thrashed Italian side Juventus 5-2 in another match to top Group G.
Inside Lincoln Financial Field.
Madrid's Vinicius Junior opened the scoring with a drilled finish into the bottom corner and set Federico Valverde on his way to double their lead on the stroke of halftime, with academy graduate Gonzalo Garcia wrapping up the win with a chipped effort.
But he might go alone. Vini Junior! He has his moment at the Club World Cup. Ardagula, it's a heavy touch into the path. Vini Junior for 2, cuts it back, and there's the finish by Federico Valverde.
Well, that was played a bit too early with Gonzalo Garcia, but he's made his own luck here. Can he make it 3-0? You bet he can. Pace.
In the other match, Man City scored inside the first 10 minutes as Ryan and Norris' disguised pass was collected by Jeremy Doku, who skipped inside and coolly slotted home into the bottom corner. Erling Haaland scored his 300th top-level career goal as City glided past Juventus to top Group G with 9 points. They will face Al Hilal in the last 16 on Tuesday after the Saudi Arabian side finished second in Group H, while Real Madrid head to Florida to face Group G runners-up Juventus in the last 16.
Savinho!
And so that's the sport for tonight. So much happening tomorrow. You know, we've got a lot to talk about as we build into the knockout phase of the FIFA Club World Cup. But I'll tell you from the KBC's perspective, 5th of July, we start a 9-week football marathon. The Women's Africa Cup of Nations, the Championship of African Nations, we've seen the fixtures are out. Moi International Sports Center for all Harambee Stars games, 3 p.m. So if you're not in the stadium at 2 p.m., don't worry, you'll watch it on KBC Channel 1. So we've taken care of that. And after that, the Harambee Stars qualifiers for the World Cup 2026. So that's just part of the sport that we have lined up for you. My name is Daniel Wahome, and on the other side is the man with the good, John Kago. Kago.
Absolutely, Mr. Wahome. Thank you so much for this sporting update. Lots happening over the weekend, right?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it means that it's we're putting a cap on Easy Friday. That's the first bit where we brief you on the news that has been shaping up this day. On the other side of the studio, you told me check the playlist for Cold Jacks. Yeah, Disco Funk is coming up.
Actually, we are not putting a cap on Easy Friday. We're actually saying the Easy Friday is now starting proper because Cold Jacks is got there. I mean, when you hear names like Michael Jackson, Patti LaBelle, Jomanda, Madonna, it only means one thing: disco funk.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool Jacks is on the other side of the studio. Oh, geared up. You had the playlist. Don't touch that dial. He's taking over in a couple of minutes. Many thanks indeed for choosing us. Susan Dupu has been a sign language interpreter for the night. My name is John Kago. And DW?
Well, I've got to only say one thing, because I know that you're at home. You don't have your shoes on. So basically, just move the coffee table away. Just turn that little space in the living room into a dancing space for everyone. Let's get the beat from them, and everybody can have an easy Friday into Saturday morning.
Absolutely. My name is John Kago. Good night. So long.
Hello?
I thought I'll never claim my money.
Can we meet?
Anything besides my money is unnegotiable.
This man is not going to rest.
He has texted.
What did he say?
Sasa kampuni kubwa kama hii mtaendaje bankrupt? Hii nini sasa hivi?